what I mean? Like, it can't just be you come in here and you gonna do things how we do it. That's not a marriage. That's not a relationship. It's you're coming in and I now need to be aware and respectful of the fact that you are valuable in this space. You get free will and the choice to control your own body and your own actions, but you don't get the choice to control somebody's response to it. Anytime you interact with people, you are teaching them how to treat you.
This is gonna be a good podcast because I'm still mind blown because this conversation got me just thinking like,
What's up?
What's up, man?
How are you today?
I'm good. Got a little rest today.
A little power nap.
Yeah. Needed it.
Yeah.
Dang, y'all ready for fall? I've been hot.
I'm sick of this. It doesn't make sense. Like, for what reason?
Y'all, it's so hot outside.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
we got a burn ban in our neighborhood. I don't know if everybody else got that. I don't know how like why world is burn ban.
Well, I mean, like most people, burn bans are usually only for like rural. I hate that word. For rural areas.
You sounding like me right now.
It sounds like a speech impediment. It doesn't sound like a real word. Rural. There we go. Burn bans usually only apply to those areas, like because you're already not allowed to burn stuff. Like when you're in like HOA, POA, like in subdivisions and stuff, you're already not allowed to burn. So they don't really have to tell you like burn ban. They usually just do that for out here. But yeah, we've been on burn ban for like, it's been like 3 months almost of that burn ban.
Y'all was outside and I was wondering like, what was that? The in the grass or whatever.
Oh.
And I told him, no, that must be a squirrel. That's Nibbler. He told me it was a lizard. And I was like, dang, the grass that dry?
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, I don't even want to go outside at all. I don't want to walk to the car.
You gonna stay within the shadows?
If I can. If possible.
Oh, man. So what you want to talk today about?
I was seeing these things on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they would give you like a list of like conversation starters. Like there's some pretty good questions, but I can't remember any of them right now.
That don't make no sense. You can't remember like one that really stuck out to you?
No.
Oh Lord. Like, what do you? It was like dealing with people. Was it dealing with?
It was like really personal stuff. Like it was like very like deep conversation starters. Like it was. I don't know. It was good. I liked it, but I don't remember. Maybe I'll remember one for next time.
Yeah. And you go back and find it then.
I meant to look at it before we started. That's the problem with recording on your phone instead of like having a camera, because I can't use my phone during the podcast when I need it. So hopefully we'll get a camera soon. Well, we have a camera. Just
what?
Just I really didn't know if you could hear that or not. It was an accident. You know, the cameras that we have are just not good for this type of content, like long format or anything cinematic. Like, so we'll see.
All right, then.
So on the last episode, we kind of got into dating and that sort of thing. And that may be what sparked this comment, possibly. But we had somebody comment on the video, and the guy asked. I mean, I guess I'll leave his name out, but I mean, he commented publicly, so I don't know. But he asked, "Do you have to get permission from your wife to tattoo women's private parts?" And like at first, my first reaction was like, duh, like that was like, why wouldn't you? But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Like that's actually a good question, because given the traditional culture of tattooing, and also leaving out the assumption that this person understands the entirety of what marriage is, like if we take those two things away, that's a good question. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because traditionally, like tattooing is not normally, it's getting better, but like it's not normally a field where it doesn't have a clean reputation. I put it like that. When people think of tattoos, they usually think of, hoodlums and gangsters and, just rough life. Like, when you see a lot of tattoo artists, they got a bunch of like face tats and stuff. Like, it's kind of like a grungier career path normally. So, like, given that context, like, that's actually a pretty good question. Like, like, because most tattoo artists, I would say, don't usually say no to a lot of stuff. But I do, because even if I wasn't married, like there's just certain stuff that I don't want to do. Like I don't want to put myself in that position. And not saying that I haven't done stuff before, but it was just uncomfortable for me. Like I've done not anything crazy, but like a lot of like more women than you think get chest tattoos. And so like that's not uncommon. But I don't know, it's just kind of iffy for me. But as far as do you need to get permission or not? I guess the simplest way that I can say this is you probably should get permission for most things when you're married. Not just the extreme ones. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people in relationships in general, I've seen them have issues because they don't do the work in the little stuff. And so then when it comes time for the big stuff, it crushes everything. And because I think about it this way, like we're looking when you ask a question like that, I'm speaking for me, if I were to ask that question, being who I am, that would be me looking for a way to get around something, like looking for a loophole almost, as opposed to asking the question, what is the best way for me to love my wife today? Yeah. Because there's just certain things that I wouldn't consider if my main priority is to love my wife correctly, not what can I do while still being within the boundaries of the marriage. Like what can I get away with? And that's just how I would feel in that scenario. Like, because I put it this way, like most of the time I ask your permission, and I don't like using the word permission because it's not like a dictatorship, a marriage. It's accountability and mutual respect. So like a lot of times I check with you before I stop at the store to get something to drink. Like, hey, you cool if I stop at the corner store right quick? I need a little snack or something on my way home. Like I check for stuff like that. So of course I'm going to check with, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of a given. Like, now the other side of that is we started doing the work of setting those type of boundaries and building that trust very early on. So like I was a tattoo artist before we even got married, before we even started dating. I was a tattoo artist already. So you kind of came into
your tattoo world.
But
I was fresh meat, y'all. I ain't had nothing. Well, I had one, but it was like the little that innocent little tattoo on your
baby
wrist.
Tattoos. But yeah, so like that kind of made me do that work early, because it was like, okay, like you're inviting her into your world. However, you also have to understand that your world now needs to accommodate for this woman, and in some sort of way, you need to make room for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it can't just be you come in here and you gonna do things how we do it. That's not a marriage. That's not a relationship. It's you're coming in and I now need to be aware and respectful of the fact that you are valuable in this space. And so when you became a part of that, now it is, I'm letting you in on all of the ins and outs of how I work and what I do and who I know. And now, even as a girlfriend, I would let you know, like, hey, I got a client, like so-and-so wants to get this kind of piece. Like, what do you think about that? You know what I mean? Like I would let people know, like, cause I don't know, sternum tattoos are very popular for women. But like, I don't know, I've probably done maybe 5. Like I don't get a whole lot of them, but I've done probably maybe 5. Yeah. I could say 2 since we've been together. And both times I asked you, what do you think first? Before I even confirmed the appointment. That's the thing. Like it can't be this is happening. Are you okay or not? It's got to be, this has come to my attention. How do we move forward from there together in it? Like you got to give the other person the opportunity to say no, And so like, that's another thing, like when we're talking about private parts, to me, sternum is not necessarily a private part. Like when I hear private part, I think genitals, and like they're properly covered. Like it's not like she's just out on the table, just for everybody to see. Like there's covering, there's towels, there's shirt of some sort, paper towels, everything's taped, and like what I'm saying. Like there's precautions that are taken to where this is not an environment where we're just inviting any and everything into it. Now, some tattoo artists do that, which I get it, but that's not how I was doing it. And so I think that because I let you in so close, so early, it kind of established this sense of trust, where you had enough information. You didn't have to make assumptions. Like, oh, what is he doing with her? Like what? And I also always gave you the invitation to sit in on the appointment if you wanted to.
And that'd be a lot of trouble, mistakes that be happening in relationships with the assumption when we're not letting people know about what you're doing, like what you said. You said sorry. You said God.
I said I let you in close enough to where you didn't have to make assumptions.
Yes.
Yeah. And I gave you the option to say no. And I respected your no. Because there were times where you told me like, nah, I'm not cool with that. Fine. That is perfectly okay with me. And I won't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be you're not okay with that? Man, why are you not okay with that? Why are you like, nah, well then what was the point of asking? What was the point of asking and checking if you weren't going to respect the no? Like there's got to be that foundation.
So you saying they went into an expectation of you supposed to already agree with them?
Right. Like you can't have that expectation. It has to be genuine curiosity. This is the situation that I'm presenting to you. I actually genuinely want to know what you think about it and how it's going to make you feel. I want to know. And whatever you tell me, I have to be able to believe you. Like I have to choose to believe you and treat your words as valuable or else it does no good for me to ask in the first place. But I think because I did that work early, now where we are, one, you already know I'm not about to do anything reckless. I'm not about to do anything crazy. I'm not going to do anything that would even touch the line of the boundary. Two, we have a mutual understanding of what that boundary is. I think we kind of have the same, or at least very similar opinion on what is labeled as like off limits when it comes to me tattooing. But I mean, like I said, I think that goes for anything. Not because to me, the tattooing, like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You got to do that with the small stuff too. Like that has to come first. Like it comes in increments. Like you got to take baby steps and build the small things that lead up to the big stuff. You can't just jump straight into the big stuff and expect somebody to trust you with it. You got to do the work day in and day out.
Yeah.
But you know, something that I said earlier, part of the reason why you and I have the relationship that we have is because I'm going to tell on myself first before anybody else does. If I ever do anything, I tell on myself. I go directly to her with it. Like, hey, this is what happened. This is how I felt. This is what I was thinking. Like, and I like I said, I leave room for the value of her response. It can't be, I messed up. Don't say anything about my mess up. Mm-hmm. No, it's I messed up. What do you need to do? What do you need me to do to rebuild that trust if it's been broken? You know, like you can't, you get free will and the choice to control your own body and your own actions, but you don't get the choice to control somebody's response to it. You cannot control other people's response to your disrespect of a boundary. That's not yours. It's not yours to decide. Your control stops at you. Well, the power nap didn't do much, did it?
No, I can't stop yawning for nothing, man.
Yeah.
Also, because I could hear the kids just over there screaming, and I was just like, oh, gosh.
I was trying my best to keep them quiet.
They kept breaking it.
They didn't care. They don't care. They in there screaming and slapping blocks at people, and I'm like, y'all never had that much fun over there. No. You don't never have that much fun over there. Why are you wilding today? But yeah, our control as human beings stops at us. You cannot control other people. So you made the choice to do whatever you did. Now, how they respond, I'm not saying that the response is always correct, but I am saying that it's not your choice to control their response. You can't control it.
That probably also determines you even be with that person.
Right. Well, I think before you're saying the response.
Yes.
I think both sides determine. I think you both have a decision to make. So one, how does this person handle themselves when they mess up? Do they tell on themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they wait for somebody else to bring the conflict to you and play telephone?
Yeah.
Or do they bring it to you themselves? Hey, forget all of that. Forget what you finna hear or might hear. No. Even the things that I know nobody will ever know about, I tell you. Like, I'm talking about before they become actions, thoughts, dreams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I bring that stuff to you. I don't want anything or anybody to have the opportunity to mess something up for me. Not even the cycle and the spiral of your overthinking. I don't even want to leave room for that. Like, this is coming from me. Like, this is what I've been thinking for the last 3 days. Like,
so would you say to the person who messed up, how soon should they tell the other person how bad they messed up?
Immediately. Confess your sins to one another. Like, that's how relationships are supposed to work. Immediately.
Yeah.
Like that is what that helps you out because you're not walking around with that burden of secrecy. I say this all the time. Privacy protects valuables. Secrecy protects sin. Mm-hmm. What are you keeping it to yourself for? All that's doing is restricting you from receiving the healing from your bondage. That's all that's doing. Keeping it to yourself is just restricting you. You are keeping yourself away from your own freedom. Why are you holding on to it? We all know we're going to mess up. We all know we're going to do stuff. Holding on to it just keeps you stuck in the action of what you did. Mm-hmm. That's all it does. It keeps you stuck in the consequence and potentially raises the consequence. Like, because this is the thing. If I do something, I don't know, anything, I can't even really like, I don't want to go to the super extreme because like, it's just not like that. But
if we told each other that we set a budget on how we eating out and you went on the next day was go get something eating out.
Okay. Yes. So let's say we made an agreement. We are no longer eating out until next month.
Yeah.
And then the next day I go eat out by myself. Now, would you be more upset if I told you right after I finished wiping my mouth? Or would you be more upset if I waited 3 weeks and then you saw that, where's all the money in the account? What happened? Why are we short? Oh, see, I've been eating out. Like, which one would you be more upset about?
I think the 3 weeks because I'm living. I'm only because I'm living in the 3 weeks. That the fact that
exactly
we had plans that we were supposed to pay this bill, or we had plans that we were saving that we were supposed to go to the zoo with the kids.
Because now it's a built-up surprise.
Yeah.
Instead of an immediate. And let me tell you this: what that shows, on my part, that shows repentance. I am actually remorseful. I feel bad about what I did, as opposed to you hid this for 3 weeks. You ain't really sorry. You're just sorry you got caught because the bill came up. But if I tell you immediately, that shows that I'm actually sorry. Like, oh shoot, like now my stomach hurt because the food in there and it wasn't even. This is unblessed food. Like I wasn't even supposed to eat this. Nah, let me go ahead and come up off of this. Like immediately that shows how I'm actually sorry, as opposed to me holding on to that. Like, so that frees me up, frees you up. Like it frees you up to it makes forgiveness easier too. It's a lot easier for you. Like, okay, like I know we said we're gonna do that. Like, yeah, you still messed up. But at least there's not the add-on of the time that you thought you could hide it from me. Because when I broke the boundary, there was a little piece of trust that was broken there. But when I break the boundary and then hide that it was broken, now I'm playing you for stupid. Mm-hmm. I just added on to that weight. So confessing, telling on yourself, that frees up both people. Now, again, they can still make the decision on how they want to respond to that. But that's what comes with doing what you do. That's what comes with it.
Well, I hope y'all heard all that.
Oh, yeah. It was recording this time.
That's crazy. So earlier today with on boundaries, and you probably said this. You said a lot about we was talking about how boundaries need to be informed in the dating process, in the interviewing process.
Yes, that's part of the purpose of dating. Because when you are dating, when you meet someone before dating,
okay,
anytime you interact with people, you are teaching them how to treat you.
Yeah.
whether you realize it or not, you are teaching people how to love you. You are teaching people how to treat you. You are teaching them what they are and are not allowed to do with you. So when you're dating, boundaries come first, because whatever boundaries you don't set when you're dating, that's the potential for that unspoken boundary to be broken if you ever get married. And so now when you're married, if you want to be upset about this boundary that you had within yourself that's been broken, well, did you verbalize it? Mm-hmm. What did your actions show throughout all this time that you've been with this person? Has that been speaking, this thing is not allowed? Have you been saying that? Or have you been letting people get away with stuff because you think they're cute?
Yep, I think because they're cute.
Like, and I think that's what a lot of people do. Like,
because first that's one of the top of the list. We're like, who I find attractive,
right?
And then you just stuck on attractive. Oh, he's so cute.
And I'm glad you said stuck on, because being attracted to someone is important, and I'm pretty sure that's usually the first thing that you notice. That's usually what draws you over, is like, they're physically, they are visibly attractive. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you come closer enough to want to get the rest of them. So that's important. But like you said, don't stay stuck on it.
Yeah.
A lot of people stay stuck on like that's a red flag, but it's pink because she cute. Mm-hmm. Like, no, it's not. It's red.
That flag is fading.
yeah, like it's sun faded. It's a sun faded red flag. Like no, it's not pink. It's not fuchsia. It's
still red.
It's still red.
Yeah.
You just have on rose colored lenses and everything looks pink.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of people's problem. Like you said, they stay stuck on the initial attraction. And this is the thing. I think this is what I said earlier. If anytime, how did I say it? Dang. Anytime you refuse to set boundaries in order to keep something that you think you're supposed to have, mm-hmm. you're setting yourself up for failure. And you are also you're not loving yourself.
Respecting yourself.
You're also not loving that person either. Mm-hmm. Because boundaries, the purpose of boundaries is to make sure that everybody is safe.
Yeah.
And when you're a believer in Christ, your boundaries are, if not always, they are often filtered through the lens of Jesus. Mm-hmm. So if you start removing those boundaries for any reason, you're not acting as a believer anymore. You're now letting your love, this romantic love, will now supersede, I don't know if that's the correct word, I think it is, supersede the biblical love that you are supposed to have for yourself and for other people. Hmm. And when romantic love comes before biblical love, that's just called lust. Anytime romantic love is placed over biblical love, it's lust. Because everything it trickles down from biblical love. Love God, love people.
Yeah.
Those are the two most important. That's what Jesus is, the two most important. Love God, love people. So if your love is not, if the love that you say you're feeling is over that, anytime it doesn't line up with the word, whatever boundaries you're removing, and now these red flags turn into pink, that's not love, that's lust.
Yeah. Another thing that came across my mind, like, how do you set boundaries with another person if you don't know the hurt that you're dealing with to later. Like, because like you're not aware of yourself completely until somebody do something to you and you like, oh, I don't like that. Like, and then you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I think so.
And then now, let's say you already, I don't know how far the person will be into dating or engagement. I don't know. Like,
so
to set a boundary to, hey, don't do that again.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry, that's all mixed up. I don't know how to put it into words.
I think for me, like when we were dating, one of the things that I would ask myself most often, especially in conflict, is will this bring anything good 10 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that the personality traits that I'm seeing, the way this person handles conflict, the way this person handles me, is this going to be good long term? Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Because I think it is difficult to know, like, it seems like what you're saying is like to know what's a hard no for you or what's not. Like, it is difficult, but especially when you're dating, the moment it's uncomfortable, like, step back and evaluate why it's uncomfortable. Like, it's uncomfortable for a reason. So
you saying like the person should look at themselves and figure out why it's so uncomfortable?
Like, if something that this person does makes you angry, okay, you need to figure out why it made you angry. Figure out if it's just a you problem or if it's something that they did that needs to be stopped. Mm-hmm. But that's not the time to, oh, it's just nothing and we, like, you know, it's all good. Like, everybody has problems. That's not the time to say that. That's the time to evaluate the problem. Yeah. Like, actually find the root of it. Like, I'm like, one of the things that was a green flag for me when we were dating was the fact that green flag. Yeah.
Never heard of green flag.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Dang, we don't get me green flags, so many red flags.
One of the things that was a green flag for me when we were dating was the fact that when we did have conflict, mm-hmm. you would actually listen and engage in the discussion. Like, it wasn't just I'm not dealing with this and you dip off. You know what I mean? Like, and to me that said, long term, not that we won't ever have problems, but we will always have an opportunity to work them out because she listens. Like, that's the way I was thinking of things. Like what is this going to look like 10 years from now? Yeah. The way that she argues, is this something that can be improved? Is this a good thing now? Can it possibly be good later? Or is this something that needs to stop immediately today? Like, you got to be a critical thinker if you're going to, because that's the thing. Like, and this is why I said in the last episode that dating should not be primarily for fun. Yeah. Because if it is primarily for fun, it puts you in this childish mindset to where you're not critically thinking like an adult. You're doing adult behaviors, whether you realize it or not. Whether you realize it or not, dating is an adult behavior. Mm-hmm. It's an adult activity. So when you're doing that, you need to gear your brain towards thinking about things in that way and how they're going to affect you long term. It's not just for you to be playing around with. Yeah. You need to be thinking about these things. Like, what is this? Is this person even going to get anywhere? I like how you
said dating is an adult activity, even though, you know, we had did some dating before we met each other as teenagers. Mm-hmm. I think it is because as in a teenager stage, we're all so emotional because going through puberty and then we feeling things and we playing around with those things like marbles and then, you know, it affect us. So I like how you said.
Think about this.
Say that.
I can't tell you how many times, like, as a guy, I've heard people, I bet I could pull her. Mm-hmm. You playing a game, bro? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you pull her, what you gonna do with her? What you gonna do? Like, it's not a game. It's not a game to be played. So you have to change your mindset to be a critical thinker if you're dating. Like if you actually say you're dating, you need to be thinking critically. How's this going to affect? The same way you can sit down and do college applications and list out all of these reasons as to why you want to go to this specific college, and you writing essays and all of these different things and applying for scholarships and financial aid and looking at housing and meal plans. You look at how much work that is to pick a school.
You building your life.
Look at how much work that is to pick a school. How much longer do you think a spouse will last? School is for 2 to 4 years. That's what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. How much longer is a spouse? That is supposed to be the person that you're with until death do you part.
Mm-hmm. Lifetime, boy.
People, on average, people live at least 75 years. That's a long time, bro. So you got about 50 years with this person. That's a lot longer than college. Why are we not doing that type of work with dating? You do that much work for a school. You don't think that the relationship that you get into is going to have a greater effect on you than the school that you pick? Than the piece of paper that you're going to hold when you walk across the stage? The relationships that you have with people are going to have way more effect on you than that will. So you should be doing the same amount of work, if not more, with dating.
Yeah.
That's grown people activity. And so that's, I know it's hard to shift into that mindset because we're not trained to do that. We're not trained to, like, when we were dating, me and you, I was paying attention to the way you structured your sentences.
I think there's a spider over there. You're not going to kill it?
I wasn't planning on it. I don't see it anyway. I think it's between the floorboards.
Yeah, but it's going to come back out. I've been staring at it for a good minute.
I'll get it. He can't go that far. I'll get it.
He can.
It's right. I don't even see it anymore.
I don't see it anymore either. He in the cracks, but he bound to pop up along somewhere over here. I guess, or whatever. Gosh. That's going to bug me. All right.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it's difficult to retrain your mind to think that way. But I mean, if you don't, you have to realize that there are good and bad consequences for everything. There's no such thing as doing something with zero consequences. There's always a consequence, even if it's only a consequence that you know about. Mm-hmm. There's always a consequence. So you have to keep that in mind. Like, you can keep dating for fun and doing it the childish way and choose not to think critically and all these things. Just know, eventually, there's a consequence for that. At some point, there's a consequence. Or you can reap the benefits of having good consequences.
Yeah.
Like, what is it going to hurt you to think critically? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it going to hurt you to do the other way? Where you take it seriously and you protect yourself, you establish boundaries, you build healthy relationships with people, like you keep accountability around you. What is that going to hurt you?
You talking about like them? Wait, you talking about like they need to? You said critical. They need to think of the bad side of things. Is what you're saying?
I'm just saying to.
I whispered in him. Like y'all can't hear me.
I'm saying just to think deeply and to actually like logically analyze the way things are happening, not just I'm gonna give an example. Mm-hmm. If you say often, when people have an issue with somebody that you're dating, and your response is, oh, that's just the way he is. Or that's just the way she is. And you just kind of brush them off. You might want to think a little bit more critically. is it just the way they are? Okay, well, why is it just the way they are?
Yeah, I was just about to say, don't accept that's just the way they are.
Like, because there's a lot of things that were with you that were just the way you were.
Yeah.
But I had to look and see, okay, why is she like that?
Yep. Like, I remember that too. You be like, I still remember how you be. Oh, that's what it is. You always lift your head up every time we be in there just talking and about to lose each other's minds, and then I say something. Okay, well then, that's how you be.
That's what it takes. That's what it
so
takes.
Exhausted, y'all.
Like, that's the thing. So, and I don't think I've ever said, like, I never saw this coming with you. Mm-hmm. You know, like, now, sure, there were some things, some circumstances in life that weren't expected, but like you and who you are and how you handle things, there weren't too many things that like were surprising for me. They were still upsetting sometimes, but it wasn't surprising.
Yeah.
Because when we were dating, I took the time to figure out, okay, why is she just that way?
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm just thinking about, like, in high school, how everybody wants a boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, they want to feel wanted. They want to feel loved. And we're not at that mindset. And I'm just speaking for high school, because that's where everybody feel like they feel more serious at, to me. But I don't remember ever just thinking, like, we expressing ourselves, what we going through. Like whatever the hurt and pain your parents caused you, like we only I just see about the hurt and pain that the other person gave you, like within the dating. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're saying people aren't looking into the connection between where they are currently and like how they were raised.
Yeah.
And thinking that that's a part of the way that. Yeah. And that's what I also mean by like thinking critically. And like when I was able to kind of figure you out, it was like, I mean, like, if typically, however the family that you come from, however they operate and how they are, personality traits, health, like all of those things, usually it's similar, you know, like that's usually where you get it from. So like to say, oh, that's just how they are. Well, is it? Or are 8 other people related to them like that too? Like
how complex is our brain is as being a teenager? Like, because I mean,
he ain't even been asleep that long.
Like how much lack of knowledge do we have as when we be a teenager? As a teenager when they dating. Because I feel like we're so simple-minded and be like, this is my boyfriend.
Okay. How much time we got?
Okay, another time. No.
Let me just. I am gonna say it because I feel like you brought it up, and I don't have any other response. I think that oftentimes, especially within Black culture, we are conditioned to be simple-minded as adults, and I'll tell you why. What do you think it does to a child when you constantly tell them, because I said so? Every time they ask why, you just say, because I said so. Well, that teaches them to turn their brain off.
Yeah.
And just accept the fact, oh, they said it, it's true, got to do it. So now when you become an adult or a teenager, young adult, you still have that training. You've been doing this for 18 years of because I said so. Well, now when they get in a relationship, you just take everything at face value. You don't look deeply into anything. You don't critically think because it's been because I said so your entire life. You don't ask why. You've been trained not to ask why.
Now I can see how that flows into with the whole dating. You don't ask why that much when you're with that person.
You're trained to not question things.
That's crazy, bro. Like, I'm just like literally thinking like, we see the red flag and we don't ask about what the heck is wrong with you.
Well, we don't talk about Bruno because I said so.
But that's crazy. That's crazy how generation, though, how that all just flow in. That's crazy.
And that's one of the main reasons why I'm personally working so hard not to give that as a response to my kids, because I said so. Well, there's nothing wrong with a kid asking why. Why do we do it this way?
Like I'm hearing you. I'm just mind blown. Like that is why we don't ask questions to anybody. Even, not even just like boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever spouse. Like even with just best friends or a friend, we don't ask the why.
Yeah.
All because our parents hold us a standard because you're a child. You
stay
don't
in a
ask
child's
me why.
place.
Just go do it.
Don't question anything. Get out of grown folks' business because I said so.
I'm mind blown right now.
Like
just
even
think about my life.
Even okay, Charlie will be 2 this weekend. She has just now started to ask why. She understands.
She do. It'd be so cute. Why?
She understands the context too. Like she understands how to, like when to ask it. Even with her, I don't tell her like, shut up, get away from me. Like, because I said so. Even as a 2-year-old, like I answer her.
Toddlers be having a lot of things they want to know.
Well, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
I think it's from birth to 5 years old is like the fastest growth rate of the brain. Like they're complete sponges during that stage of life. So like the stuff you setting right there from birth to 5 years old, that's the foundation of who that person is going to be. So even as a 2-year-old, even with Nehemiah and he's 3, when they ask me why, I tell them why. Go pick up your toys. Oh, why? Well, because you're going to have to go to bed in 15 minutes and you can't go to bed with all these toys out. I'm going to trip over them and then I'm going to be upset with you. They may not understand completely the consequences of everything and what I'm saying to them, but I didn't teach them to not ask why.
Yeah.
I taught them to ask why and expect an answer. They need to know why we do things.
Yeah, don't be afraid to speak up.
This is my thing. Doesn't it make it easier for you to do stuff when you know there's a reason to do it? If a kid is like, oh, I want to go to so-and-so's house, or I want to go outside. Well, you got to clean your room first. Why do I got to clean my room first? Don't get mad. Don't get mad at them. Tell them why they need to clean their room first. Well, because I'm trying to avoid teaching you and allowing you to slip into procrastination, because later on in life, you're going to need to handle things and prioritize correctly so that you manage your time well. So that is why I'm teaching you now. You do your work first. You finish your work and then you can go play.
You ain't saying nothing but a word, but like, yes. So you won't, yes.
And then
don't teach your kids bad habits.
But this is the thing. What do you think is going to happen now after explaining that to them? Well, now they have motivation. I now understand work is required first, then the reward. You do not get the reward before the work.
Yeah.
Do the work and the reward comes after. Like it really is that simple, but instead of like, chill out. I don't know that I would be that threatened by my kid asking me why.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like a lot of times. Like growing up, it feels like when you ask why and the parent's response is that aggressive, because I said so. It feels like you feel threatened by me. Like you. And
I wonder what is the root of that feeling threatened.
We're going to go there.
I don't even know how much time, guys. That's you. You stir stuff up in me that made me give me these questions.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there because I think some people need to hear this. So because I've already said that I think that this is very heavy in Black culture. That you just asked is also very heavy in Black culture. The why is it that it seems like we feel threatened as parents when our kids ask us why? I'll tell you why. Because all those years that we were in slavery, this much authority as a Black person, you have zero authority as a Black person. You're not even a human being. So now, as a Black person, do you have a lot of authority when you go to work? Not really. Do you have a lot of authority when you go out in public? Not really. Where do you have authority? At home. That's the only place where you're treated with any sort of respect and authority. You feel threatened that you're going to lose that.
And your kid, the only thing you can control.
Exactly. So you try to hold on to that so tight, your little bit of authority that you got as a Black person, and you end up abusing your kids and training them into non-functioning adults and sending them into the same exact cycle.
Boy. So set your boundaries. We need to be off guard. So off topic with y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, this is gonna be a good podcast because I'm still mind blown because I didn't. This conversation got me just thinking, like, bro, for real, like.
There's a lot of stuff that we do that's a big issue. There's a lot of stuff that we do that we don't realize is a generational curse. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how much time we have.
I have no idea. It feels like it was a little bit shorter than usual.
I need to squiggle this thing over here. Oh,
it's locked. It's locked. Yeah, but that is why that's why boundaries are important. That was the main point of what we're talking about. You know, if you haven't started the process of learning boundaries, how to set them and how to set them respectfully, the process of going through that, start now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Start look for resources that can teach you and walk you through that and how to do that. Because that's even, and I've been seeing this a lot on social media recently. Like even like when we were growing up, like it was almost a requirement for like physical touch between relatives. Like, oh, you gonna give them a hug? Like, go give her some sugar. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I had times I felt like that. I'd be like,
I don't make them.
I'll say hi, respectfully. Hi.
Like, I don't make them hug people.
Yeah.
Now I might encourage them, like give them high five, give them fist bump. You don't have to hug anybody if you don't want to.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. You hug me all the time, so I know it's not a hugging thing; it's a them thing.
Yeah, they're aware of what love is, right, or who you wanna. Yeah,
they are. I want to make sure that they have the freedom to choose who has authority over their body and who doesn't. Yeah. That's where it starts with the boundaries. Like, you got to be able to say no. That's a boundary. Saying no is a boundary.
I think not thinking about it, it's amazing how my grandpa, how he initiate us.
Initiated?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Like, greet us. How he greet us. I like how he greet us with a pinky. He always be like, hey, how you doing? And I did one time as a teenager or a child, I don't remember. I tried to give him a hug and he was kind of like, hey, whoa, no, give me a pinky. Because I wanted to give him a hug because I always gave everybody else a hug. Because it seems like we was raised to just hug. Because I don't remember just going to a family reunion unless it's my cousin, do a pound or whatever. But when uncles and aunts, it was always a hug. I'm so sorry. I keep messing with your cord.
Keep your toes to yourself. Boundaries.
Be quiet, bud. Go boundary your cord. But anyway, I liked how he showed me, like, you don't have to hug, just give me a pinky. Which is weird. Yeah. We always thought it was funny because we be like,
hey, I mean, he was looking out.
Yeah. He was cool. He cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if y'all got specific things that y'all want us to talk about, leave comments. You can message us on Instagram. We also have a TikTok account.
Yeah.
just wherever you can find us, we'll get to it as soon as possible. I did kind of want to go like deeper into some stuff, but I don't want to make it like too long, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to make it unbearably long. But there's definitely more to it. Yeah, but I guess in short, yes, I do. I ask permission for everything. Like, and that's another thing. Like this, like we want to maintain our independence so bad that we try to clown.
I meant to say that earlier.
We try to clown people for being respectful of their partner. Like, like I'm thinking about it. Like if me just saying that out in the open, like, yeah, bro, I asked my wife permit. Like, yes, I have to check with my wife for stuff. Oh man, she wear the pants and you need to grow a pair and all it, and like, you know, all this crazy reckless talk. And it's like,
I wear the pants relationship.
Like you don't check with your wife. Like, you know, you have to be more of a man to lay down the advantage that you have over her. That's sacrificial. Like that is dying to yourself, dying to your flesh, laying down. I know that I could, like, literally and physically, I can do whatever I want. I choose not to.
Because you love me.
Because that is how I'm supposed to love you. Like, that takes more of a man to say, I can do this, but I won't. It takes more of a man to say that than it does to, I'm going to do what I want. Like, look how manly I am. Bro, you ain't a man because you do that. Like, but look at how we treat people. Like, you check with your wife. Yes. And I still have a wife. Like, it's check with your wife. Like, ask your husband or wife. You need to be checking everything.
Yeah.
Check everything with them.
See what's wrong with them.
Like, you can't just, that's your, man, right after God, that is the next level of your accountability as a human being on earth.
Yeah.
It's your spouse. First is the Holy Spirit. Second is your spouse. That's where your accountability comes from. You're supposed to be checking stuff with them. You ain't supposed to just be running around here doing whatever you want.
That's crazy, bud.
Like, how much more free would you be if you just allow somebody else to help you? Like, hey, I really don't want to make a mistake. What do you think? Do you think this would be a mistake? Like, to just get some like, just get some feedback from somebody that has a little bit of authority in your life. Let them check you.
Yeah.
What do you need to run everything for? You are not God. Check everything, not just the big stuff. All right. We love y'all.
We gotta think of how to close this out. Like our routine of closing it out.
That was it. I was done. You started it back up.
We're finished. That's how you just ended it?
Yeah.
I was like, bye. A little more. All right, bye.
Bye. Go run some errands. Eat your food. I don't know what y'all gonna be doing by the time we post this.
Go finish that laundry.
Yeah.
And the wet clothes I've been sitting there for like 3 days.
Now they sour. Stinking. Now you gotta throw them away. Or look for a little 5-minute hack to fix your clothes. Don't do that. Just put them in the dryer. Put them on the line. Something. Wash a terrier. Whatever you do. Take care of your clothes.
All right. Peace.
Oh, my hip. Why? That was so unnecessary.